Straight ahead on Falcon Weekly, the clock is ticking if you want to drop a class this semester. The deadline to drop is just hours away. Plus, the debate over quarantining for Ebola is heating up. Find out what officials are saying about the 21-day isolation period. Also, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. See what one hotel is doing to raise awareness. Falcon Weekly starts now. Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Kayla Guillot. Thanks so much for joining us. The last day to drop classes for the fall semester is upon us. Any student wanting to drop any of their classes has until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Remember, you can drop all but your last class through Banner. With Halloween just a few days away, UM is saying boo to the flu. The Alabama Department of Public Health will be offering the flu vaccine to UM students, faculty, and staff from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Wednesday, October 29th at the SAC. The cost is $5 and they ask that you bring exact change. This past Saturday, hundreds of folks came out for Montevallo's annual Art Walk. Dozens of local artists and student organizations set up booths around downtown Montevallo. Vendors sold a variety of items, including crafts, photographs, and clothing. Local bands also performed live music, and there was even a costume contest for those who wanted to dress up early for Halloween. The Art Walk is sponsored by the Montevallo Arts Council and the university. Some events to take note of this upcoming week. The Department of Behavioral and Social Sciences will be hosting a celebration of Mexico's Day of the Dead on Wednesday, October 29th from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. The celebration will be held in the UMOM Room 103. Also, the National Broadcasting Society will host a bake sale on Monday, November 3rd in the Mass Communication Building. From 10 a.m. until 3 p.m., NBS members will be selling baked goods to raise money for a trip to the National Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. Coming up later in the newscast, we'll preview a big event happening on campus this week. The 4th annual Comms Day is this Thursday, and we'll have an in-studio interview to give you more information about the event. Turning now to national headlines, a second victim has now died after last week's deadly shooting at a high school in Washington State. Gia Soriano, 14, who had been in critical condition with head injuries, passed away as a result of her wounds late Sunday night. Chief Medical Officer Joanne Roberts for the hospital where Soriano was treated read a statement by the family.
We are devastated by this senseless tragedy. Gia is our beautiful daughter, and words cannot express how much we will miss her. We've made the decision to donate Gia's organs so that others may benefit. Our daughter was loving and kind, and this gift honors her life.
3 other students remain hospitalized. The Soriano family has asked for privacy as they grieve the loss of their daughter. A remembrance and moment of silence was held this morning at 10:30 a.m., the same time the shooting took place last Friday. In this week's Ebola update, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie says the nurse placed under mandatory quarantine after a trip to West Africa can now be monitored at home. The development comes during a fierce debate about new quarantine procedures and tougher Ebola monitoring. Guidelines in the state of Virginia. Here's Polo Sandoval with the update.
New Jersey state health officials are letting Casey Hickox go home. She'll be allowed to finish out her 21-day mandatory quarantine in her home state of Maine after testing negative for Ebola twice. Her discharge comes amid heavy criticism of New York and New Jersey's new, tough, and controversial guidelines for Ebola.
If there are no symptoms, the state is implementing a quarantine at home, which there will be monitoring twice a day by health professionals, but it's a quarantine that allows family members and friends to visit with the returning healthcare professional.
Mayor Bill de Blasio adding health officials are also monitoring the health of a 5-year-old boy. He remains in a New York area hospital with a fever after a month in Guinea. Medical tests are expected to determine if Ebola is behind the symptoms. Further south, enhanced screening is in place for travelers returning to Virginia from West Africa. They'll have to monitor their temperature and have daily visits from the health department. Stiffer restrictions could also be coming from the Pentagon. CNN has learned the Joint Chiefs of Staff could require all U.S. troops in West Africa to be quarantined before they return home. That monitoring is already in place for Army General Daryl Williams and approximately 10 of his troops. They were among the hundreds of soldiers deployed to West Africa to help fight the spread of Ebola. I'm Polo Sandoval reporting.
The Center for Disease Control says the only way to contract Ebola is coming in contact with blood or bodily fluids of someone who is infected. The CDC also says washing your hands or using hand sanitizer frequently is the best way to avoid getting any kind of illness. Officials on the Big Island of Hawaii have been going door to door to put residents on the eastern side of the island on evacuation notice as flowing lava nears their neighborhood. Over the weekend, the lava flow entered the Pahoa Cemetery grounds and is nearing main roads. Smoke levels also increased, and officials are telling residents to prepare for potential evacuation in the next 3 to 5 days. Could we see another Bush versus Clinton campaign for the White House in 2016? It's possible. Only this time it could be Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton. Jeb's son, George P. Bush, told ABC News his father is still deciding, but there's a good chance he will run for president. His brother, former President George W. Bush, has said he has pushed Jeb to do it. Some places have holiday decorations going up already, but not in this town in North Dakota. Those walking through downtown Fargo, North Dakota, may have noticed bras draped from a hotel to raise awareness about breast cancer. Each bra represents a $5 contribution for a gas card going to local breast cancer patients.
It's really cool to see, from the first years where we just had bras on the front of the building to now we've been able to wrap the entire building with bras, and now we go across Broadway, so we literally have bras on Broadway.
On Thursday, the hotel will host a fashion show and auction to show off some of the more creative bras. Remember, there's more news online 24/7. Just search for Falcon Weekly on Facebook and Twitter to see more stories and news throughout the week. Communication. All of us do it, and the Department of Communication is taking a day to celebrate it. Coming up, we'll have a live interview to find out more about this year's Comms Day. And 2 major retailers have said no way to Apple Pay. Find out which ones won't support the new tap and go payment methods. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm joined now in studio by Ryan Kirkland, who is going to tell us more about the 4th annual Comms Day. Thanks so much for joining us, Ryan. So, for people who don't know what it is, what exactly is Comms Day?
Well, Comms Day is basically just an event that's designed to promote and celebrate the Department of Communication and the Communication Studies program specifically. And this year, kind of the spin that we're giving it is just a celebration of the past, the present, and the future of not only our specific Communication Studies program, but also our whole department as well.
So also a big part of Comms Day is there's always a lot of speakers that you always bring a lot of really interesting people in. So who are the speakers that we could expect to see this year?
Okay. Well, something that we really focused on this year was highlighting our alumni. And so something that we're really excited about is that with the exception of our future panel, which we'll talk about where we're going as a department and a program, and all those people are staff and faculty here, all of our speakers are alumni. And all of our speakers graduated from Comm Studies or the Department of Communication. And so one of our speakers is Jonathan Nelson, who is the general manager of the Birmingham Barons. And so we're excited to have him here. And then also he'll be speaking on, in the past session, kind of what we were like before we were Comm Studies, even when we were the speech program. And then in the present, we're going to have some more recent alumni. We have Aubrey McClendon, we have Jeff Walker and Anna Archer, all of whom are more recent comms alumni who are pretty well established in their own careers and fields.
Awesome. A lot of people on campus aren't comms majors. So what would be the benefit for someone who's, say, an English major or a business major? What would be their advantage to coming to Comms Day?
Well, first off, I was actually talking with one of my professors today, and one of the advantages that they said for those people, even if you're not a comms major, it's still really cool because one of our main drives that we have is networking. And even if you're not a comms major, there's going to be a lot of Montevallo alum, and it's so important once you get out into your career to be able to know people who went to your university, especially when it's a culture like we have at Montevallo. So you're going to have that opportunity there. Additionally, we're going to have refreshments. So if you're hungry, hey, we got snacks for you.
It's always a good incentive.
It's always good. And then we're also going to have some raffle prizes, some giveaway for some Montevallo stuff. You know, it'll be fun for all that good stuff for gifts. And then also, if you're in a Comms 101 class, we also have an extra credit opportunity that's plugged into all those classes. And so there's a lot for non-comms majors to really get excited about and to check it out as well.
Awesome. Sounds so much fun. Yeah. Here's more information about Comms Day. It is this Thursday, October 30th from 12:30 to 4:20 in Comer Auditorium. We've placed a full schedule of the Comms Day events on our Falcon Weekly Facebook page. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Chat rooms are making a comeback on one major social media site. Coming up, we'll tell you how it works, and we'll also take a look at the alarming statistics about cyberbullying. Plus, visiting family for the holidays will cost you more than you expect. Find out how much when Lucas Burns joins us for a look at consumer news. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Many of us remember going online to use chat rooms, and it looks like they're making a comeback. Facebook is bringing chat rooms back with a new free app called Rooms. The world's largest social media network released the app Thursday. It lets you create or join chat rooms based on your shared interests, and you can stay anonymous. People who use Rooms aren't required to use their real name. Users also have the option to use different nicknames for different rooms. With so many people spending so much time online, cyberbullying and harassment is an ongoing problem. According to a new survey by the Pew Research Center, 73% of adult internet users have witnessed someone being harassed online, and 40% have personally experienced it. More than 2,800 web users were surveyed, and responses showed that young adults ages 18 to 29 are more likely to experience online harassment than any other group. And the harshest form of abuse, physical threats, stalking, and sexual harassment are often reserved for women. The report suggested social media is where a lot of online harassment takes place. Now for a look at consumer headlines, Falcon Weekly's Lucas Burns joins us with the latest. Hi, Lucas.
Hi, Kayla. Apple users may be a bit disappointed today after a recent decision from both CVS and Rite Aid. These two companies have decided not to accept Apple Pay at any of their locations. Neither company has cited an official reason for this decision, but according to Forbes magazine, the decision may have stemmed from CVS and Rite Aid creating their own version of a tap-to-go payment system. Holiday season is in full swing, and pumpkin-flavored treats have seen a major commercial boom over the last few years. So what does this pumpkin craze mean for pumpkin farmers? Reporter Karen Kayla goes to the source to find out.
Pies, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin syrup, and we have pumpkin butter.
And pumpkin brittle, pumpkin soup, pumpkin seeds. Like most retailers this fall, feeding the recent pumpkin spice craze that's widely believed to have started with the Starbucks drink. Sales of all pumpkin-flavored products grew 14% last year. But what about the sales of actual pumpkins, like the 20 acres grown on this farm? According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the acreage devoted to them is on the rise, and pumpkin sales have jumped 34% in the last 5 years, coinciding with that pumpkin spice craze.
You know, people come out and they'll have their pumpkin, whatever it may be, coffee, but I think it helps get people in the mood.
Ben Butler says that with the expanding roster of pumpkin-flavored products and a greater spotlight on the humble Halloween pumpkin has come more interest in pumpkin varieties: Cinderella, fairy tale, peanut, cotton candy.
Of course, you're going to get your jack-o'-lantern for the kids to carve and things like that, but kind of the oddball, different color, different shape, multi-purpose pumpkins have gotten really big for us. And
Extending the reach beyond a simple Halloween decoration and, yes, adding a little spice to sales on the farm. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kafa.
Still in the market for a flashy Halloween costume? Well, if you have about $2 million, then your search is officially over. The morph suit in question earned its $1 million title because of 70,000 diamonds lining its tight spandex. Its designers admit that the $1.6 million suit is heavy, but they assure that purchasers will still be able to see through the diamond-clad costume. Looking to visit loved ones over the holidays? It may be a bit more expensive than you planned. According to Expedia.com, the cost of Thanksgiving flights is up 17% from last year, while flights around Christmas have only risen about 2%. Although Christmas flight prices have stayed nearly the same in the last year, holiday travelers may want to get a head start on buying their tickets. According to a new survey by Airlines Reporting Corporation, the lowest prices for domestic airfare are found about 8 weeks before the departure date. The report also found that Sunday is the cheapest day of the week to purchase airline tickets, and with only 9 weeks until Christmas, the clock is ticking and the price of airfare is only going to go up. And with Christmas quickly approaching, how surprised are you that we're already hearing jingles?
It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I turned on the radio, I think it was like Friday, and there was already Christmas music. Halloween's not till Friday, so.
And you may be able to avoid, a Christmas section or aisle, but if it's over the store, you can't avoid the radio.
Still, you need to wait a little bit longer.
Couple weeks.
What do you think about Christmas music before Halloween? Tell us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Falcon Weekly. Stick around for more. Sports is next.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm Charmella Williams with a look at this week's sports. Volleyball got off to a rough start over the weekend. Friday, the Falcons suffered a 3-0 loss to the nationally ranked Armstrong State University. Their luck soon changed, however, when the women took home 2 wins this past Saturday against Flagler College and the University of West Georgia. Freshman Christy Bohan, junior Brianna Marquez, and junior Carissa Bell all set career highs during the game. The team also took time to celebrate the life of former assistant coach Aaron Hefner during their Dig Lavender tri-match. In soccer news, the men's soccer team took the field against the University of Alabama at Huntsville this weekend, ending in a 1-1 tie. The Falcons will take a week off before playing in their final match of the 2014 season against Young Harris this Saturday, November 1st. Meanwhile, the women's soccer team faced off against Georgia College Saturday night. The Falcons scored the first goal, but eventually the Bobcats netted 3 goals for a 3-1 win over the Falcons. Switching gears to golf, the Montevallo women's golf team has been ranked 24th in the country by the GolfStat rankings. This is the highest ranking in the program's history, making this the first time the Falcons have been in the top 25. The Peach Belt Conference has 3 teams in the top 25, with Flagler coming in 5th place and Armstrong State making the list at 22nd place. The women's cross-country team is the top-ranked team in the region rankings for the 4th consecutive week in a row. The women began the season ranked number 4 in the preseason and are now on their way to recording their highest ever finish in the region rankings. Montevallo is one of 6 Peach Belt Conference teams ranked in the region poll. And that's a look at sports.
Thanks, Carmella. Finally, this week, a London hotel has cast a spell with Harry Potter-themed rooms. Demand is so high, the hotel website keeps crashing. The Georgian Hotel is offering the chance to channel your inner Hogwarts. A limited number of rooms called Wizard's Chambers are decked out with potion bottles, cauldrons, and other items from the popular book and film series. A one-night stay for 2 will cost you more than $300, and that price goes up if you want some of the extras, like a tour of the Harry Potter movie sites. The hotel is booking rooms into 2015, all the way through to December. So if the site's already crashing now,
yeah, I don't know about that.
Hopefully they'll get it back up.
Sounds interesting.
It looks pretty authentic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can understand people wanting to stay there. That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thanks so much for joining us. For more UM news, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you next week.